Hello people of the tour. I'm having to record myself today. My partner's got something wrong with a tendon in her right foot, and she's got to get it fixed. Well, it's already fixed. It'll be better in about 3 weeks, she said, which is plenty of time before the trip. She's still going to get those skis. I hope all of you are enjoying this weather, and maybe we'll have some days like this over there. If not, we'll have what we have and have a good time anyway. I just sent you 2 things today, and I'll go over them in a minute, but first I'd like to finish what I was going over last time. So if you are there and you will pull your hints for the German-Switzerland tour without a D, I don't know who typed this, I'd like to go over those, please. That's more hints for Germany-Switzerland tour. And the first one, of course, is one of the most, if not the most important one, is be on time. Whether it's to be in the hotel for breakfast or going on a tour or getting to the train station, although we won't have to get to a train station this time. Think of everybody else on the tour and get there early. Now, usually I don't have anybody that's just habitually late, occasionally. But after the first day and what everybody says to them, they pep up and do better the next day. But you really do need to be on time, especially to those tours that I'm not in charge of, because I tend to be a cream puff and say, well, that's all right this time, we're going next time. Whereas the tour guides in the local towns will say, well, I have just such a time to leave, and I hope they have a good day. So try to be there on time. When we arrive in Frankfurt, we will be assigned a number at the airport, and we'll count off every place. So we'll know that we're all there and all together. Remember, your tour guide will wait for you a long time, but the buses and boats have no mercy, and that's true. That's right. So just make it a habit of being on time. Number 2, I'm going to give you a sheet later on that has the name and address and email of each hotel we're staying. And put that where you can find it. You may want to make a smaller version of it to keep in your billfold or your purse, because if you were to get lost and you were to get in a taxi and the man couldn't speak any English at all and you couldn't speak any German at all or know which hotel that yours, it could be a sad occasion. We'd have to write you a letter and say, having a great time, wish you were here. But anyway, I'll give you a paper with the names, addresses, and the email of each hotel. Do I need to say anything? If people don't understand you, the obvious thing to do here, and I've had some people do this, if they don't understand you, it's because they're not used to hearing English any more than we're used to hearing German. We sometimes think that we speak the only language in the world. Well, guess what? We don't. But indeed, most countries will have, especially in the big cities where the shops are, will be able to speak more than enough English to help us. Little towns and little shops, maybe not, but they're still very, very, very nice. But if somebody doesn't understand you, please don't go up to their face and holler at them again. It gets very, they'll say, how rude. But anyway, if you get lost from the group while walking, just stop, and we'll come back and get you. If you want to stop and shop a while, these are those days in which we have leisure time and we don't have the tour guide to tell us be back here at 3:42. Just tell me, we'll all stop and go in the shop or something. And let me know how often and where, if you want to go to, as I've written here, one of the main words that you need to learn is where is the Badezimmer? We've talked about that before. It's where is the bathroom? In German, Baden is bath and Zimmer is room. We went to a wonderful town in Germany several years ago called Baden-Baden, which meant bath. But it had hot springs and a marvelous casino that unfortunately was closed when we were there, but the main thing was just looking at it. But even if you can't say wer ist da, which is very close to where is the, a lot of German words are. In fact, our language, English language, is in the group of languages known as the Germanic languages. So you'll know the Bodenzimmer, but let's just all stay together. And if you need more time back here, let me know so that I won't have to worry, where is so-and-so? Or how did they get lost or something? Number 3, pack light. Now, I've got that dragging it through the train station, which most of us have done. We won't go through a train station, but we will have times that we have to bring our luggage down or bring it to the bus or something like that, or through the airport. You don't have to look like all those movie stars on the Golden Globe Award every night. I know some of you are shocked at that. And when I all go whisper as you get on the bus, that's the same thing she's worn twice before. Because we're all going to be as light as we can. Carry a light coat, or one of the good things about these days is we have temperature pretty accurately before we leave of what it's going to be like for the next week. So we'll see if we need a big coat, not so big a coat, or a fabulous leather coat, or something like that to keep us warm at night. Wear comfortable shoes. We are going to have to walk some. But if you're used not to walking, if you're used to sitting on the couch, you want to get up and walk and kind of get used to it. Number 4, now this is really big, so remember this, and you need to remember this. Always carry with you your passport, that's the real one, and let me add that when you get if you have your passport, I hope by now you have noticed to see if it is still good, and Lynn pointed out that sometimes they say that you have to have it a good at least 6 months after you get back or something, but we found that that's not quite in control yet. But you must carry your passport and make sure it's signed. Be sure to sign on the, I think it's on the back of your picture is where you sign your name, and sign it as it is on the passport. Carry an umbrella, a small one in your little, I call it my pack that I wear around I call it a Brian Tour bag, used to, Gene, because that's what we were used to doing. But carry a fold-up umbrella, and of course carry money. Now there are lots of bankomats, that's what they're called, whether they're spelled that way or not in Europe, but they're exactly like our ATM machines, except they don't spit out dollars, they spit out euros. And it'll tell you, do you want 10, 20, 100, or in case of some of you like Lynn, thousands. But they will take credit cards everywhere. And you will find some bargains. These are the bargains that you find in Germany. Jewelry and crystal, especially, and a lot of watches. If you want to buy a good Swiss movement watch, or you want to buy a Rolex, they have good prices on all of them. Everybody has to get a cuckoo clock. I told you that. We have the one that we got years ago. Our granddaughter wants one for her room. They're very nice, made from wood in the Black Forest, and you can get them in various sizes. Christmas ornaments, especially in Rothenburg, there are many shops with marvelous hand-carved Christmas ornaments that are really just fantastic that you want to get some of. Number 5, hold on to everything. Well, mainly your purses, wallets, money bags, and so forth, fanny packs. Make sure it's a fanny pack. But anyway, pickpockets are professional. We may have to have a testimony from Gene about this. and her favorite city, Paris. But these pickpockets are very professional, and they'll sneeze, and while they're sneezing, or you're saying Gesundheit, another wonderful German word, your purse or inside your purse will be gone. I've had many a time feeling somebody trying to pick my pocket, but being used to the idea they didn't get through it. I have an e-wallet that goes in my front pocket that's extremely difficult to pick, at least without my knowing that they're there. Number 6, I'm talking too much. The best way to call home these days, we used to get telephone cards way back yonder, and they were a bargain in England and France too, with so many minutes of them. And then we went to the next idea was getting a rental phone over here to take with you. And when you get back, you mail it in, and they'll tell you how many minutes you use. The thing to do now is to take your own phone. Most phones, cell phones, mobile phones, as the British call it, and probably in Germany too, you can take it to your dealer and tell them you're going to Europe, and they will put that note. We used to have all this rigmarole about putting a chip in there and found out that wasn't so. But make sure they know, because most of them may not quite understand what going to Europe means. And I'm not being ugly about that, but they're not used to going to foreign shores like Cindy, who goes every year. But just try to talk with them about where you're going, how long you're going to be going, and we'll talk about banks a little bit later. Yes, remember it's 7 hours later in Germany. They're on Europe Standard Time and not Continental Standard Time and not British Standard Time, but it's 7 hours. Therefore, if you call anybody at 4 in the morning, no, that's not right, 4 in the afternoon, people back home are much earlier than that, 4 something. Anyway, it's 7 hours early over here than it is there. Like right now, it is 3:15 here, which means it's 10:15 at night over there. This is a big one too. Just know that things are going to change. I've had so many sweet, well, it says in the brochure we're going to do this. But this is sometimes closed, or they're having a funeral, or it's just not open on Wednesdays. So I didn't plan that, and we'll have some, believe me, there's plenty to go do and see. You'll have a choice of lots of things if something cancels. 8. So many of you have been to Europe. I feel like I shouldn't be saying this, but there are a bunch of you that haven't. But hotels in Europe are extremely nice, but the rooms are not as big and elaborate. Well, I say they can be very elaborate. Very nice hotel rooms, but not as big as usually our rooms are over here. I had told my class one year, now don't you get over there and complain about the size of your room. Well, one little girl, we had an elevator in the French hotel that would just hold like one person and one luggage at a time. So she finally got hers up and came back down, and she said, I'm not complaining, but this elevator is bigger than my room. Anyway, it'll be nice. And if not, let me know. They have huge towels. In fact, with a few pins here and there, you could wear a towel every once in a while if you get in a rush. But no washcloths. So if you're used to sponges and whatever those poof things are, or something like that, let me ask you to take some if you're used to that. Number 9, every night when we come in, I will give you a time to be in the lobby the next morning for that day's tour, having eaten breakfast. I've had many a time people to come in 10 minutes before we leave. Dr. Walker, have I got time to run up upstairs and get a little breakfast? Well, no. Just try getting up a little earlier, and at breakfast the Europeans are really good at this, having all kind of fresh fruit. And grab an apple and put it in your pocket. The alarm will not go off. A banana, something like that if you get hungry on the bus or have to have something to eat if you missed breakfast. Now I plan, unless you tell me I don't need you to, call you every morning, and as I try to say it nicely, make sure you had set your clock correctly. I used to call people, and everybody, every morning, it took 30 minutes, and say, are you up? Oh yes, we're up. Lying like a dog. They were still sound asleep. So I'd call back about 20 minutes later, we're getting up. So most of you are good, well-seasoned travelers and know this. 10, we usually have a really, really big breakfast buffet. I tell you now, the best thing you're going to run into in, well, lots of things in Germany, as I've got here, don't expect to have grits or something like that we have here at home. But now they will have eggs and sometimes bacon and lots of, I know it kind of be shocking, cold meats, salami, bologna, things like that. Wonderful jellies, and probably the best thing for breakfast are the different kinds of yogurt. If you love yogurt, you're going to be in yogurt heaven. I remember the kiwi yogurt and the caramel yogurt. Lots of good things we'll have for breakfast. And most of the time we will have a snack on our own for lunch. And then nearly every night we have a nice dinner at the hotel or somewhere like it. So, as most of you know, Janice said I sent out a handout one year, and she said it was about 3 pages. She said, I'm not surprised that it's on food. I don't know what that meant. But nevertheless, I've got you some handouts on names of food later. Now look, this is important. Write your passport number down on a piece of paper and put it where you don't have your passport. If you plan on putting your passport in a fanny pack or in your purse or somewhere like that, write your passport number down, or even better, make a Xerox copy of your picture and passport number and put it somewhere you can get to it if you were to lose or get your passport stolen. That, believe me, I've seen this happen, helps you tremendously on the process of getting a new passport. We just won't even think about that. And I'll help you with this. Not that I need to help you, right? Your name, address in America, your American address. And the itinerary, where you're going to be every day while you're over there in Germany and Switzerland. And put that on a piece of paper on top of the clothes when you finish packing before you close your luggage. In other words, what I'm saying, and I'm going to give you this, is a blank for you to fill in your name and address in America, but it'll already have on it your itinerary and where you will be every day. But just put it on the top of your clothes. I used to say put it on the top of your luggage, and they'd say, Dr. Walker, how am I going to keep up with it if I'm on the top of my luggage? And I meant the top of your clothes, of course, dear. I'm sorry. Number 13. You should get $50 changed into euros before we go. Now notice, this always gets complicated. I didn't say get 50 euros. You certainly can. You can get 100. You can get 10,000 euros if you want to. But what I'm saying is get a minimum of $50 changed into euros through your local bank before we go, just in case we can't get to the bankomat early enough and we need something. We'll say candy and a Coke before we get to the hotel, or at the airport while we're waiting on our luggage or something. it's not going to go unspent. I assure you, it's going to look just like everything, except when you get it over here, the rate's going to be pretty bad. I should have looked that up. I'm sure some of you have already. But I'll go over next week the rate for the euro, what it is both in Germany and Switzerland. And last but not least, and I'm going to get up here where I can show you this, is that rigmarole of if you have they'll usually have an iron and things like that, but they won't have a place to charge your phone. That's the big thing we need one for now. Usually have a hair dryer already over there. But if you need something for hair curler or charge your phone, you need to get, first of all, we've talked about this, an adapter plug. This is the way the plugs look in Germany and Switzerland. They're round, they're not big hunks like they are in England, but they're very similar to what we had in Italy. And you'll need a transformer because all that electricity in Europe is 220 and we're 110, which means if you don't get this and you plug your hair dryer in with just this, you can get your hair quickly dry in a nice flame of glory because it'll be too hot and burn out. But and if you need, don't forget to make notes if you need to ask questions. And I will bring these to our meeting so you can see it live and you can share, of course, with somebody that you trust that will give yours back. All right. Now, assuming you've made notes on that, maybe we can speed up just a little bit. Of course, you can speed up anytime you want to, or, as I said, pause, or the ultimate is push stop. Look at the flight schedule that I sent you. Those that have been before know that sometimes the last day there you have to get up at 3 and 4 in the morning. I remember we had to get up at like 4 maybe on St. Patrick's Day. They might as well have because we hadn't slept any during the night for all the celebration in the street right before us. We would have been better off to just stay awake, dressed, and go over to the pub. But nevertheless, and leaving from Jackson sometimes can be early. But we've got a wonderful, you're going to hear me say schedule a lot. We fly, of course, on American Airlines. And we leave Jackson, if you pull your little handout here, on March the 9th. I assume you know that by now, at 12:16. That's fantastic. Now you realize we'll have to be there at least an hour and a half ahead of time. Jackson, believe it or not, is not the second busiest airport in the world. So it still will take us a while to all check in as a group and our luggage booked overseas and stuff. But we leave at 12:16 and we arrive in Dallas-Fort Worth at 1:51. Pat and I are so happy about this because our daughter and her family live above Dallas, just about 20 miles, in Plano and Frisco. And we won't have a big enough layover to see them the first time, but coming back, we'll be able to actually go out and visit with them. I don't mean out to their house, but outside the airport, or they can't come in where we are, but we can go out where they are. Anyway, we get to Dallas at 1:51 in the afternoon, and we don't have, none of these times look as long as they are. I mean, they're much longer looking than they really are because we leave Dallas at 3:55, having gotten there nearly 2, which will mean we'll just about have time to walk to our new international gate. And you know the rule, all of you know this, that they always put your international flight as far away from where you fly in as they can get it, just to make you walk all that way. Anyway, we leave Dallas that night at 8:30, which is just about perfect, putting us in, no, I'm on the wrong day. We leave, yes, it's at 3:55, and we get into Frankfurt the next morning at 8:30, which is a wonderful time. I think we got into Italy at lunchtime or after lunch, and that ruins a half a day. But this will get us, time we get our luggage and get our motor coach, and get to the hotel. It'll be a little bit later than that, but that's wonderful. That's a wonderful time. Is we'll get there at 8:30 in the morning, and of course go from there to from Frankfurt to Rutenberg. I'm just hard to wait to see y'all's faces when we get to Rutenberg, and it seems maybe somebody has been there. I can't remember. I know John Miller, our doctor, has. And then the last day, March the 18th, the day after St. Patrick's Day, we don't leave Germany until 10:45 in the morning. Now, Lord have mercy, all you from the past trips, remember we will have to drive a while to get from the little town we're staying, 20 minutes or so. But that's so much better than getting up at 4 in the morning. How many times have we gotten on the train or gotten in a taxi or hopefully gotten on a plane at 4 in the morning to fly to Paris to catch our overseas flight? But this one, we don't leave till 10:45, and and we get in to, yes, Dallas at 3:55 in the afternoon. That's wonderful. And then we leave Dallas at 8:25. This is kind of late, but we'll have a layover. And we get back into Jackson at 9:45, which is not terrible compared to many times that we've gone. So I really bragged on Ben getting us the schedule to get from here. I told him, and he knows this, I don't like flying west to go east. But I have done it several times, and you really can't tell in the long run. Now, he's got us good seats. I've told you all about the seats. And you've read all the rest of that, so I don't have to go on about that. Now, I'm nearly through, I promise. Look at the German words I'm giving you. I've given you one sheet of which just are common little words that it always makes the host country or countries feel good to hear us trying. It gives them a nice joke too. No. I have a joke about that, but I'm not taking time to tell it. You see up there, yes and no. Do you need to go to der Bottenzimmer? Ja. Or nine. Yes or no. And would you like the cafe? You say, ja, bitte, which means please. Or nein, danke, which is one of the biggest ones. If you learn anything, learn danke, which means thank you. Please is bitte. When somebody tells you danke, you immediately say back to him bitte. And those are two easy words. Danke, bitte, and all. You're welcome is still bitte. Good morning is guten Morgen. Now that's another easy one because guten Morgen sounds very much like good morning. Good morning. And good afternoon is guten Tag. And good evening is guten Abend, which I don't know that one too much. We all know goodbye is auf Wiedersehen because of television. Good night. I'll tell you why you know this. Gute Nacht. Guten Nacht is the same word as in Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, which of course is in the original German Silent Night, Holy Night. I won't even try. We like Danke gut. It's farewell, thank you. It is not, as Pat told me, Danke gut, but it is Danke gut. Sprechen Sie English. That's easy. That first word it's a lot easier. It looks like sprechen. If you want to know if anybody speaks English, just say sprechen Sie English. and they'll probably say ja, ja, or nein, nein. And sprechen Sie. You know, the German word for Germany is Deutschland. You probably knew that. But while you're in Germany, anything that says Deutsch, that's Germany. So don't get over there. Dr. Wolf, we're in the wrong country. Sorry, I get tickled at myself sometimes. It's a good thing nobody else does. But anyway, and the last one is probably one of the best ones. Kommen Sie mir behelfen sind, which help. That's a lot of words for help. And then I've given you a good one, the other one about in the restaurant. Janice, you knew I was going to do this. About what to say if you want some more water, or do you have cornbread? 9. Butter beans, 9. But all kind of liverwurst and bratwurst. Wurst is sausage. So you'll get used to that. But look at those on that other handout I gave you, and they'll help tremendously. Now, we'll have one more video, I think, maybe 2. I'll be sending some more handouts. And then I'll set the time for us to meet, and meet all the people that we haven't gotten to know yet, and pass out all the things that you need to carry with you on the plane. Not a lot of stuff, but you know what I mean. Flight bags, tickets, itineraries, things like that, and we'll get to meet together and have coffee and kuchen. That's another good new word. Cake, Black Forest kuchen. Anyway, it's going to be a good time. We're going to have a great time. There's a lot to see, a lot of things that you'll always have to remember Germany and Switzerland. One of them could be your broken foot. No, I'm just saying that. But I'm really starting to get excited. And next time we'll talk about the weather and packing and those things that I'm going to send you to put in your suitcase and such. Don't forget, and you don't have to save all the questions for the last live meeting. You certainly may ask me or somebody else that's not lucky enough to be going, but they've been before. But we're looking forward to meeting all of you. Looking forward to all of us getting together. That'll be a nice trip to go into Frankfurt. We should see lots and lots of American soldiers that we'll get to applaud vigorously. Anyway, thank you for the time. Thank you again for going with us. Pat's going to be fine. She says hello to everybody. And the next video, I'll talk about some of the things that I'm going to send you between now and then. And I'll see you soon. Thanks.